So the lesson actually went really well, which was exciting. The part that is uploaded to YouTube that I had to like crop the video because it wouldn't let me upload the full lesson. Basically, what happened during the lesson, we're going through the PowerPoint, it's awesome, we're having a good discussion. Then in walks the AIC of Vashon, his boss, and three additional teachers who were doing observation. So five adults walk into the classroom to observe my teaching and then also read through the objectives and seeing how the kids are engaging with it. They were really well behaved while they were there, and they were really quiet, which was very exciting and made me look good, which I was happy about. So the part though that I included is basically right after they left. So I cropped the video to get through when they came. So if you're just to kind of for the context, when you're watching the YouTube video of my teaching lesson, that's kind of the kids coming down off of a "who were all they" type of thing. So it's a little chatty, but you know it's always a little chatty. So I mentioned in the preview brief that I wanted to explore kind of the effectiveness of direct instruction, not a because it's not a teaching method that I prefer to use. I think there are content areas where it is the most effective teaching method. I don't think history necessarily is that because my students tend to disengage when they're taking notes from a PowerPoint too long. I actually think it went a lot better than I anticipated. There were kids that kind of, started chatting a little more than I would have liked, or I probably should have rearranged their desks so they weren't in pods and they were facing forward so they could really focus on the notes, but I didn't, so maybe that's something I would do next time. Yes, they were a little more talkative than I would have liked, but they were really engaged with the material and having a lot of actually really good conversations amongst themselves about the content as we were going through it. So I wish they would have posed those questions for the class and we could have kind of had more of a discussion rather than just chatter in the pods. But it was really exciting to see the kids engage with something that I really didn't know how they would take it. In regards to content, I definitely think we got through a lot of content on the different religions. I would have liked to take a bit more time to go through and really hash out the similarities and differences. They are doing that in the next class independently, and I think I actually might take some time to kind of go through it with them first, but I think they have the facts, so content went well. Okay, so when I envisioned I had hoped that they would have started taking notes pretty diligently, then we would have moved into a discussion, and then the activity. I do think they were taking notes. I check them now. That's a new thing I do that I've learned because I realize that some kids take notes better than others. So I'll go through and I'll check their notes after to make sure they're keeping up. They were taking notes. It didn't really lead to the group discussion or as much of a structured discussion as I would have liked, but they were engaging with the content, which was exciting. And yeah, I didn't really think I was going to have time to get to the activity in the lesson, the Venn diagram activity, and I didn't. So that would be something we do next class. And it'll also be a good way, I guess, to see how much of the information students retained or whether they're going to have to completely rely on their notes to make those comparisons. Yeah. Also, I think these are the right questions. These are the questions I answered last year in my IAMP. So I hope they're the same ones. I could not find it on the any document for it this year, so I just kind of went with these. So I was looking back on my teaching lessons from last year compared to this year. I'm definitely much more comfortable and casual. It's just like looking back on my video, I don't even think last year I could name all my, call all my students by name. Because we were only coming in one day a week and people weren't always there. And that was something I was always uncomfortable with. So I really like that I have relationships with my students now. It helps in terms of getting them engaged with the material, and it also helps in terms of classroom management because if I'm calling out someone by name to stop talking, that's more effective than saying, hey, you. which I wouldn't do, but something along those lines. So I think, I have a long way to go. Looking back and watching my video, I was always thinking, oh man, I wish I would have done that differently, but it's easy to say that after the fact. It's harder to do it in the moment. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how my reflection compares now to at the end of the semester, but I think I'm on a good track.